Hello, this is Dimitri with Ukidz LLC, UGears US. Today we're starting a actually series of assembly for UGears dinosaur sets. So there's 3 sets right now: Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and T-Rex. T-Rex was the first one to be released. Tricera was the second, and Stega is the third one. So I'm going backwards and getting into this series. So it's Stegosaurus, then gonna take a break with a couple other models, then come back with the Triceratops, and then finally I'll get to T-Rex. Hopefully they'll release more, and hopefully you guys like them because they're awesome. I've seen them assembled, I played with them assembled. This is first time I'm doing the assembly on these, so they're pretty cool. Get them, UGears.us or ukidstoys.com, available to ship right away. Pretty cool present, pretty cool gift, pretty cool model kit. So let's start the assembly and let's enjoy it for a little bit. All right, box opening. By the way, it's a 305 piece. It is designed for 14 plus, but I think little younger kids can tackle it too. Usually, as I remember, there's a phases how they come into the phases with these dinosaurs, and that one should take about 8 hours. It says assembly time 8 and level is advanced. I tend to disagree with the level a little bit. It's just the attention, right? So like how much attention you need to pay. So the more parts and more attention, the harder the level is. But otherwise the parts are pretty simple, or assembly is pretty simple. You should be able to see it in this assembly. And also keep in mind it could become a family activity, you know, dad or mom helping their kids, or grandparents, you know, grandfather or grandma, whoever's into the modeling, they can help the kids to put this together. So in either case, we have 3.5 boards here, and some parts are already falling off, so I don't even need to punch them out. But 3.5 boards, instructions, and a set of parts or additional items that you need for the assembly. So here we have a spring that's going to be our driving mechanism. We have the sandpaper, but usually I prefer to use a precision file. And of course, another part is the wax. So wax is obviously necessary to remove the friction or reduce the friction as much as possible during the assembly. I'm gonna put the spring on the side just to make sure I don't lose it. And let's start with the assembly. So the first page or second page of the booklet pretty much tells you push the parts out, wax everything you can, pay attention, yada yada yada. There's a bunch of symbols that you're gonna see through the assembly instructions. We have exclamation point, meaning that you do need to pay attention at that part of the assembly, because maybe some part that needs to go a specific way or sequence. Next symbol is the sandpaper. Third one down, it's the wax. That mechanical connection, so you need to make sure that the mechanical connection is working and operating properly. Little fan that's just it has to rotate around its axis or freely move the mechanism. Then the next symbol is not to snap the parts right at that moment, and then the following symbol is yes, snap the parts right now. So first one, most likely you're gonna see this one's first and then that one. So like don't snap it here because you need to install something else, and then snap it again. Spare parts, extra components, replacement parts. So if any of these break during the assembly, you got the additional parts on the boards, so you don't need to contact us or the manufacturer to get those replacements. They usually have a little plus indicator right next to it. Excuse me, I'll show you in a second while I'll find them. So this little board that's number 4, there's a bunch of parts on here, plus, plus, plus. So these are all spare components. It's just in case if you break them, you have them readily available. You don't have to wait until the manufacturer or myself will send you some. By the way, with a part replacement, if you bought it from me directly at UGears.us or ukidstoys.com, or from any one of your local toy stores, hobby stores, or gift stores in your area, which a lot of them do sell it. And please buy local by any means. They're awesome. They're awesome people. They're awesome sales. So those will get replacement from me at no charge if we have the parts in stock. If you bought it on Amazon or from the manufacturer directly, I will charge shipping. Part will be no charge, once again, as long as it's available in stock. Otherwise, we'll just guide you over to or direct you over to the manufacturer. Or you can visit their website directly. It's UGearsModels.com. They will ship from Europe. There's a space for part replacement. Further on page number 3, there is a helping tool, and that helping tool is on board number 1. It's right at the center here, at the left, in the middle on the left hand side. So just go ahead and pull it out right away. It's going to be used through the assembly to push the parts out, to snap them together, and etc. Literally a helping tool. Saves your fingers a lot. All right, let's start with the assembly. We are on page number 4. I'm going to double check, make sure that we're still running. And I don't see why we wouldn't, but just in case. It happened to me before numerous of times. So let's proceed. Parts number 1, 2, and 3. Board number 1. Let's see. Part number 3 is at the top right corner. Part number 2 would be, and all of them are, is to the left of that part. Also top right corner quadrant. And part number 1 would be, let's see where they at. They're right above number 2s. There's 4 of them. So we just need one for the first part, and we do need to wax it. I'm using one of the older sticks because I tend to run out, and some of them I don't use enough. Some of them I overuse. So part number 1 is waxed. A shorter tab, that's what's gonna go into part number 1. And make sure it goes all the way in, and then number 2 is gonna go through let's see, the rectangular hole on number 3, so all the way in, and then we're gonna lock it up with part number 4 and part number 1. So part number 1 is the top right corner. We've seen that before, and part number 4 is right above it. I'm gonna put ones on the side right now, and there's part number 53 just fell out. I want to make sure that I grab it and so I don't lose it. It's in the bottom right corner here. So that's another, it's a quality that shows you how UGears checks the quality. So if the parts are, if there is like some kind of board imperfection, because the boards do go through quite a few quality checks. So if there's some kind of imperfection, they'll take the part out, they'll put a replacement part in there right away. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, so same here. We are waxing part number 1, and then part number 4 is gonna go first over this tab, and then part number 1 we're gonna lock it up. Alrighty, and that's A1. We're gonna put it on the side. Next step is very similar. It's part number 1, 2. So we need to pull another 2. Top right corner, part number 3, also top right corner, and then part number 1. I have them on the side. We'll need 2 of them for this section of the assembly. So start with the first one, wax it. And then this one has dips in it, so that's where the connection points are, so you don't have to worry about sanding it at this point of time. And so same thing where the shorter tab, that's where it goes into part number 1. Then we're gonna push it through number 3 and through the rectangular piece. And then next step, number 2, we need part number 5, which is should be in the top right corner. It's right at the center, a little to the right of the center line at the top. And then another part number 1. So let's see, wax number 1. And then part number 5 is going to go over the sub-assembly, so over the part number 2, and make sure your L, or that little stick, goes towards the right side. And then we lock it up with part number 1, just like this. And that's our A2. Next step, number 1 on the bottom there, page 4. we have parts number 6 and 7 that we need to put together. They're also on board number 1, a little bit above the middle on the right hand side here. 1, 6, and 7, and then 7 is going to go into 6 all the way. Make sure it's nice clean T, flush on both ends, and then we need parts number 8 and 9. Those are right above there on the right hand side, a little bit above the middle, almost at the edge. So 8 is first. That's a little bit larger piece. We're gonna wax both of those. So 8, and they're gonna go over the longer stem all the way down to the bottom. And then 9 is a little smaller piece. It's not gonna go as far. That one should stop at the top. Once you put it in, it should be done. Now we're going to step number 1 at the bottom of page number 4, right in the middle. We need parts number 10, 11, 12, and 13. Those are going to be on the left hand side. So 10 is the top, and then you go towards the bottom. 11, 12, and 13. So I'm going to lay them out the same way as it is on the in the manual. And now we need parts number 14, which is top left, all the way in the corner. And then that 14 is going to go, because it's symmetrical, from left to right. The shorter portion, that or longer tabs, going to go towards the bottom, and it's going to go right into the middle hole there. And make sure you insert it all the way. It's going to stick out slightly on the back. And then parts number 15, there are 3 of them all the way at the top. They have the shorter tab and a longer tab, so longer is going to go towards the right side in our case. Same thing, we're just going to put them in. They're all going to have to face the same direction. Alrighty, and then step number 2, down the bottom there. I almost put it the wrong way. We need to put parts number 16 and 17, 3/17 over these parts. All right, so 16 top right corner, and then 3/17 right behind it on the right hand side, right at the edge. So we need to make sure these little round pieces, either with an inner circle or outer circle, are waxed. I will do this tabs the way that it shows on there. I don't see any connection points on these. There shouldn't be any connection points on those. Theoretically, if this is a clean, nice cut, if you need to put wax on it, so it should be good. And then part number 16 is the first one that goes on. It's going to go on facing towards the back. We put it over this parts number 16, then 17. I'll probably start from the back in that case. Make sure you line them up and they fit one into another. Kind of overlapping a little bit with the parts number 15. And then make sure that these round pieces are within cutouts, round cutouts. So that way everything is held together and it's going to be part of the tail. Moving on to the part number 5, I think it is tail. Part number 5, page number 5, step number 3 at the top left. We need parts number 18 and 19. They're also on board number 1. 18 and 19 are at the center, closer to the top. And we insert 18 into 19 from left to right. And then make sure you don't go all the way in just yet. So we just need to start it, but it shouldn't go all the way in just yet. So we're not snapping it completely, just need to make sure that they're interlocked. just like this, so it doesn't reach that hole just yet. So then we move to step number 4, and here the parts are, so we need to go over that little circular shape, and then we insert further down, snap that part number 19 into place, so that way it will lock it up and we're good to go. Now we need to get our part number 20, and then A1 and A2. Part number 20 are also on board number 1, top to the right of the center line. And those, let's see, so part number A2, that's with the one with the hooks, gonna go on the closer side, closer to you, within that little brown piece. So it needs to move there. And then we lock it with the part number 20 with a longer tab going down into the base there. Just like this. And then we do need to put a little bit of wax on there. I forgot on that one, but it's all right. And then our part number A2, which has, let's see, the two on the bottom, 2 little circles, that's the one that goes into the base. And same thing, 20, lock it with the 20 and through the hole. Locking it in. So that one's inside, they're inside, both are inside of that little brown holes. Alrighty, moving on to page, step number 5, we need parts 21, 22, 23, and 13. So 21, 22, 23, they're a little bit to the left of the center line at the top of the board. And then 13, so 21, and they should all fit kind of similar fashion as the first one that we did. Make sure that the circular patterns fit into the holes properly. And then it kind of like goes smaller towards the back. And these 2 tabs this one fell out, so I need to pull that back out. So I need to lift this guy a little bit, because that's what happened on our disconnect. Put it back in, and then put the part over to make sure it doesn't fall out. And then we lock it with part number 13 at the end. Alrighty, our little tail. And then step number 6, we need parts number 24, 25, 26, and 27. They're all right above the middle on the left hand side. 24, 25, 26, and 27. So 24 is the tallest one, the one with the little dip goes in the front. Then 25, a little smaller. 26 is the smaller, but without the wing, or whatever the name for it is. That goes in the last one into part number 13. All the way. And then step number 7, we need parts number 28, 29, and 30. 28, 29, and 30. So 28 is a little above the middle on the right hand side. 29 is also a little above that, and then 30. All right, and then let's see, 28 is going to go in first, and then with the cutout towards you, it's going to go into the third tab here. Then same thing with the number 29. Now the cutout is on the opposite side. All in. And then number 3 step, it's part number 30 is going to go with the cutout towards you again. And then, so that shows the cutouts. They should flip-flop. Step number 8, we need parts number 32 and 31. 32 is the top right corner here, and 31 is a little above the middle on the left-hand side of the center line. So, and then 32 is going to go, 31 is going to go into that part number 28, kind of facing towards the back, like this. And then 32 is going to go into the part number 30, the one that's on closer to you. So as far as it can go, make sure it's nice and tight all the way in. And then step number 9, we need part number 33. Is a little to the right of the center above the middle line. 34 and 35, they're top right corner. So 33 is going to go into the slot that is opposite end, away from you, all the way in. And then 34 is going to be the first one. That's the larger piece. That's going to go into the slot at the tail. And it has to kind of go through the hole at the top, and at the same time locking there you go, locking that top piece into the side, so it's kind of like clicks in. And then 35 at the end, like that last slot, kind of similar situation. We need to make sure it goes all the way in and kind of locks it up. Okay, and that's our sub-assembly all complete on step number 5, page number 5. Alrighty, I'm just checking because we still have the A3 that we haven't used anywhere, just making sure that we haven't yet. All right, moving on to the page number 6. We have step number 10. We need parts number 36, 37, and 38. They're right below the middle, or right at the middle on the left of the center line. So 36, 37, and 38. 36 is going to be first, and then we flip this upside down, kind of hold it, and then this is going to go, 36 going to go with the thicker portion towards the front into the second part. Then we have 37 to the third, kind of same thing with the thicker portion towards the front. And 38, same thing, so with the sharp point all the way towards the back, thicker towards the front. Make sure they're all the way in, flush with the other part. And then next, step number 11 is actually part A3, the one that I was looking at. So these two circles, they're gonna go through the two circles in the tail. And then after we insert that, make sure it's horizontal like this, or perpendicular to the length of the tail. We put part number 39, which is on the left-hand side or a little below the middle, in the same sequence with the thicker portions towards the front. We're going to insert it into these two holes that are towards the front. Alrighty, and that's our A. And now we need to make sure that the tail goes both directions, left and right, just like this. That's the fan, the little fan that is showing to do that. All right, moving on to the next step number 1 on the bottom of the page, number 6. We need parts number 40, 41, and 42. They're on that little board number 4 on the left hand side. There is 40, with a smaller hole, 42 with the larger holes, and then 41s are right in between there. And so we can pull all out. That's our key. So little 41 is gonna go with the thinner portion into the holes of part number 40. Use your helping tool to push it in. And then 42 is gonna go over these, and then you squeeze these together till they're nice and flush. Fully. All right, step number 1, a little to the right of it, to the left of the center of the page on the bottom. You need parts number 43, 2 43s and 44. So they're gonna be on board number 1, bottom left is 43, and 44's gonna be a little below the middle on the left hand side. All right, so we need to wax these guys. And I'm doing it before I put it onto 43, which doesn't matter the sequence. And they're gonna go from both ends into number 43, all the way down to this little cutout, the circular cutout, or half circle arch. Alrighty, that's our C1. The next step, number 1, to the right of the center line, or almost in the middle here, we need part number 46 and 45. So 45 is going to be 45 bottom right, and 46 is a little above the center on the right hand side there. Make sure you wax a little bit this little fork, and then we take the 45, let's see, with the wave kind of going towards you, or the one on the back, so towards you it's like a little bump, and then that little cutout is towards the back. And let's see, there's a little lip on there kind of going downward in my case, so you need to flip it if that's the case. So your little rectangular cutout is slightly diagonal towards the right, away from you, or towards the top. And then we push it in, all the way in. Next, step number 2, we need 2 parts number 47. They also on board number 1 on the top right corner here, or actually a little, almost at the middle, a little below the middle. And with these guys, we need to wax it, and these teeth need to face you. All right, so let's see, the teeth kind of like facing towards you and to the right. That's gonna go from the top and from the bottom in the same direction. And then we wax it, so just because once you put the wax, there's a possibility that you're not going to be able to see the teeth very clearly. So that goes there, a little wax, and it should sit in there. And that's our C2. Moving on to the page number 7, step number 1 at the top left, we have parts number 48, 2 48s and 49. Bottom to the right of the center line, 2 48s on the bottom of the board number 1, and 49 is a little below the middle on the left hand side of the board. Let's see, we need to wax these little tabs that are on there with the pre-cuts. And let's see, with the little hook towards you, and this guy, larger lip, I guess, away from you, but facing kind of like towards you, and that little lip is towards you too. We're gonna put it through those 2 holes that are vertical at the top. So one, and then the other one kind of match the part from the other side. We need to wax these 2 teeth on the right and left, because they're going to be going through it's kind of like a pendulum, or help you do the clicking sounds. Then step number 2, we need part number 50, which is right below the 49, and then 251s. 251s, they are on, where would they be? On board number 2, I'm assuming. Yes. So they're all on board number 2, a little below the middle on the right hand side here, 251s. All right, so we need to wax those 51s. 50 is going to go through the top, through the same side that our part number 49 went in. Shorter tab's going to go into the hole. Larger is going to be through the slot here. And then we need to push it all the way in until it locks on both ends, and then wax the part number 51. You might want to apply a little bit of a sanding here and here on these sides. I usually don't. So if you don't, you'll just need to spend a little bit more time of working the mechanism in. If you do, a little less time. So it's up to you if you want to invest time in sanding up front, or if you want to invest your time of working the mechanism out towards the end. That completes our C3. Moving on to the step number 1 on the right hand side at the top, we need parts number 52, 2 of them, 53 and 54. 53, that's on the board number 1, bottom right, and that's the one that I had a little issue there when one fell out. And then let's see, part number 52 is going to be on board number 2, top center. We got 2 52s, and 54 is right above it, right at the top. All right, now we need to make sure these 2 little dots, holes, are towards the top, and then 53 is gonna go over that from the top. But before it does, we need to make sure it's waxed nice and good. And then we lock these 2 together. And then 54, make sure you remove any materials that is on there that's not supposed to be on there. Wax all these teeth all around, then come back the other direction. And then on here, when we look from the top, your teeth should go in a clockwise direction. So just like this. And that's our C4. We're all complete. Moving down to the page number 7, bottom left, is step number 1. We need part number 55 on board number 1. That one fell out for me. So make sure that this hole is away on the left. And then we need part number 56, also on board number 1, and a little below the middle on the left hand side. We need 4. So 4 of these tabs gonna go into the 4 holes around the center hole, 4 rectangular holes around the center circular hole, just like this. And that's when we come in with the spring. So now the spring goes over with the lip facing in a counterclockwise direction. So just like this, kind of try to center this little tab over the hole. And let's see. Now, make sure as it unwinds, the exit is going to be in between the top and the left hole. So in my case right now, it exits in the wrong place. So I need to wiggle it around a little bit. Now it's between bottom and left. Now it has to be left and top, so I just need to bring it in right here. So now it exits right here. So that's the part, and then the tail is gonna go right here with this. Let's see, we need to turn it sideways. The teeth are facing, spikes facing this way. So this tab is gonna go through this hole down. And we kind of lock it in. Just like this. Now, page number 8. Our C1 will go into this little slot on the top left corner is the hole. That's where the C1 goes into. C3 is going to go with this larger tooth towards the center of subassembly. Is going to go into bottom right hole here. Bottom right, yeah, if I'm looking straight directly. And then C2 with the spike is going to go right here. It's our start-stop mechanism into the small hole. And let's see, it needs to go a little bit. Make sure the directionality is as shown right here. So this little dip is towards the top in my case, and this is going to be facing towards the hole opening here. Now we need to lock that whole thing with number 57, which is on board number 1 on the bottom left. And make sure this writing is right towards the top. We need to sand this surface. So that's where the sandpaper comes in. And then just do this. You don't need to do a lot. Just make sure you get majority of it. And then that's gonna go over all these little tiny pieces. And the only thing I don't see that, here we go. It only snaps on that center pieces that we installed. And now I need to make sure that we lock it all the way around. And none of the parts are full out. Top left is all in spots. This guy came out a little bit, so this tab is not meshing up, and that's where my tool comes in, that I need to push it a little bit to line up, and from this side too. There we go. Now just make sure it's squeezed everywhere. So these are flat on both sides. Everything is sitting flat. So these 4 tabs are holding it together. All right, now we need to insert the C4, and we need to split it sideways a little bit for it to go over the spring, the flat portion of the spring, and then this should go not that far, but until the tab is sticking out. And then we lock this from the other end with part number 53, which needs to be waxed, which is on board number 1, bottom right corner. And we're done with board number 1. This is gonna get waxed. And then 53 goes over these two to keep them together. Flip it, make sure it sits all the way in flush on both sides, and it's about the same distance that this step sticking out. Next, I'm gonna flip it over. Part number 58, step number 7, that's on the bottom, and it's in the top left corner of board number 2. I'm gonna use new stick now because this one's almost exhausted, so just wax all the gears all around. Flip it, and then the other direction. And the way this needs to go is that little tabs that are sticking out, they need to face counterclockwise direction. That's just gonna go like this, locking that little gear in there. And then it's step number 8, we'll lock it up with part number 59. They're also on board number 9, or on board number 2, top right corner. Just kind of combine them together. It has like a little arrow, so make sure those arrows are facing you, and it says left L on it, so that goes over this little double piece. So we're gonna do one at a time. That tab is floating a little bit. There you go. And the second one. Nothing fell out, so we're still good. And then we need to wax this 2 parts all around. Should have waxed it right away. Okay, and now we have these arrows facing left and right, kind of like this. Moving on to the page number 9, flip it around, and then we install part number 62, top right corner of board number 2. Wax it all around. And let's see, so this says R, and the arrows are to the other direction, clockwise. Okay, hold on one second. We need into part number 60. We need 2 parts number 61. They're a little bit to the left of the center line here on board number 2. Let me get these out with a helping tool. So with the R on the right hand side, there's no arrow here. 61 is going to go on the bottom. Kind of gives the spacing, I guess, a little bit. And then that's going to go into this part first. So there's a little spacing here in between. And then R, the part number 62 is going to go over it. And then we need to also put a wax all around it. I think I did already, so we're good to go. And that from that side, we have the B going in, the little key. And then we wind it clockwise direction as we're looking from it until this little guy locks on one of the tabs. So we need to wind it as far as possible. You might want to use both hands. So it's locking right on the tab. Got close to it. I hold the mechanism, take the little helping tool and snap it onto that little tab. Make sure it goes all the way in. and sits there nice and tight, and then you can let it go a little bit and take the key out. So that's our sub-assembly C5. It's all nice and wound up. On the right hand side, step number 9, page number 9, step number 1 on the right hand side. We need part number 63, 64, board number 2. 64 top right corner, 63 is going to be top right, a little bit to the right of the center line. That little space, we need to wax where the little tooth is at. Tooth should be on the left hand side, and we insert it into part number 64. It's kind of like a little key with the wave away from you. We insert it this way, and then it's going to go into that opening sideways with that tooth locking part number 64 in there. So it needs to go all the way in, like shown in a C6. And then page number 10, that's going to go on the side. Step number 1, we need parts number 44 too. Top left corner, part number 65 right next to it. And part number 66, which is also round piece, and that one is right below 68 on the right hand side, a little bit above the middle. So we need 2x 44s. And we need to wax 66. All right, so 64 is gonna go on first, all the way to the ends, as far as they can go. And then 66 is gonna go from the top, whichever way. There's 2 slots, and there's an end where it's closer to the edge. That should go whichever way, it doesn't matter, because the other ones are symmetrical. So as long as these 2 lines, as long as it's off a little bit, right, so it's sticking out. Then we're moving on to step number 1 in the center of the top page. This is gonna go in with the that little part 66 towards the top, towards us where it's facing. We are on the right side of the dino, so it's gonna go in through 2 holes and kind of sit with that part sticking out. And then we need to put C6, locking it right here with the spike facing towards the back, like this. And then we need part 66, 67, 68, they're top right corner. They're gonna lock on the bottom. 67 is gonna go first, these towards the front, and 68 is gonna go towards the back, 2 slots as far as they can go. All right, so these are done. We flip it the other direction. We take part number 69, also on the board that's a little bit to the left of the center line. We need to wax it. Make sure you remove all the burrs, all the edges off of there. Wax the teeth. And that's gonna go over this mechanism here, locking with the larger gear, just like this. Make sure it goes all the way down as far as it can go. And that's our C. Put it aside for a second. Moving on to the step number 1 at the center of the page on the bottom there, we need 2 part 72. They're on the left hand side, a little bit above the middle. Part number 70 is the bottom right. That's a spare one. Bottom left. And then we need one more part number, 72's we exited. 71 is that's a spare. Top left corner. So once again, all the gears need to be waxed. You will create a lot of friction initially, but once you get going, actually reduce the friction more than if it's not waxed. All right, make sure you remove all the extra material that could be in there. And then you can use a helping tool to help you a little bit. Wax the parts. And then 70 with the longer side of the part is going to go into these 272. Make sure your teeth are facing clockwise direction. So they're, first of all, they line up and they face towards this direction. And then you go from the top, you go with part number 70 into them, as far as the part number 70 is going to go. And then 71 is going to go from the top. That one doesn't matter which way. Just like this. Then step number 2, we lock it with part number 74. Let's see, 74 is going to be to the left, a little bit above the middle. And then 51 is going to go on the bottom of it. It's a bottom, on a little below the middle on the right hand side. We need 2 51s, and then 73 is going to go on the top. And then the 73 is going to be at a little bit above the middle on the right hand side. All right, so we'll start with the 74. We need to wax it, obviously, and then one of the 51s. We don't need to push it all the way in just yet. So there has to be some spacing, and it's almost at the edge. So we just put 74 on and leave it at the edge. And then 51 on the bottom there, locking it in so it doesn't move, doesn't fall out. That one stays on the bottom. And then 73 and 51 on the top that you can lock. All the way in. And that's our D1. Moving on to the page number 11. Step number 1 on the top left is the parts number 75 and 76. Still board number 1. They're a little bit above the middle on the left hand side. One within another. 2 forks. And then parts number 51. Bottom right. Part number 9 and top left, a little bit above the middle. Part number 69 right at the center there at the top. And part number 77 a little above the middle on the right hand side. And then we need to wax every single part, so all the gears. Front and back. Part number 59, part number 9, part number 51, and part number, the gear part number 77. All right, so this with the little tab sticking out going down. 69 is gonna go from, oh no, sorry, 77 from the top. And then 51's on the bottom there, lock it up. That's first, and then 69 on the top. Sorry, 77 was on the bottom, but going in first. And then number 9, locking it up from the top, that's our D2. And then next to the right, step number 1, part 78, 79. These guys are on bottom left. We need 2 parts number 51. Those are the only 2 left on the right hand side, a little below the middle. And then part number 69, it's the top right, a little above the middle. 69 obviously waxed. All around. Make sure all the burrs and extra material is removed, and then part number 59 is waxed all around. All right, so 79 goes into 78. Whichever one is the 78 is the one with the shoulders, I guess. And then 69 goes from the bottom. And then 51 from the top and from the bottom. And that's our D3. All right, so it's nice and clean. Now we take our sub-assembly. We take our D1, and then with this little thing going towards the bottom, the one that is moving, the one that we haven't inserted completely yet, it's gonna go into that split hole right here. So I need to separate it slightly. Gonna open this guy up a little bit. Rotate this towards the inside, sorry, and then insert this guy. Let's see, with the gear towards the top. And then now flip it upside down, and then this gear, I mean that little circular piece needs to go into the hole and lock it in. All the way. Next, we're going to install part number 80 and 69. It's step number 2. Part number 80 is right at the center at the bottom here, and 69 a little below the middle on the right hand side. So wax both of these guys. Remove any burrs. '69 is gonna go at the top right corner, that little fork here, all the way down to the body. And then part number 80, wax all around. Let's see, part number 80, we need to put this into the stop mode. Part number 80 needs to go with 2 little dots over here, going that way. Correct? Yes, long way. Now, in this step right here on the right hand side, we need to wind, insert D2, insert into here. okay, rotate this, so make sure that little fork, the openings are facing a little bit diagonally like this, and the fork is facing towards the start stop. As you rotate this gear, that's the way it's going to be. And then we insert the bottom into here, kind of locking everything in. So this is going to be towards the start stop. This gear is in here, locking in. That's the way it's supposed to be, I guess. It says check mark. Moving on to the other side, and then D3, the little gear is going to go into this hole right here, interlocking in between. Actually, let's remove that first. Rotate this guy until it's also towards the top, the fork, maybe a little bit diagonal, and then we put the D3 into here, interlocking these gears. Exclamation point, that's the way it's supposed to go. Now going to right here, bottom right, this is a little diagonal. This is diagonal looking towards the start stop. This guy doesn't matter, I guess. This one should not matter, the location of these, because it's a winding mechanism, so whatever it released, that's where it's at. These two are the important ones. Alrighty, next, part number 81 on step number 5. That's bottom left of board number 2. And that's gonna go over into this hole. This little tab's gonna go into the hole, so, and the other one on the other side, I guess. Two tabs. Put this guy back in, if it fell out in your case, because it did in mine. And then step number 2, in that step number 5, board number 82, which is right at the center here of board number 2. Large hole is obviously over here. UGears is facing the direction, and then we snap it on all these tabs that are sticking out. Make sure all the holes are matching and all the tabs are fitting in. All the tabs are in there. This guy is up front. Same thing, and these are still staying up, facing this direction, the way we built it. Moving on to the page number 13. And now we need to play with the mechanism, make sure it works nice and smooth. All right, so step number 1, we lift this guy up. Step number 2, we put the key in. Step number 3 is we wind it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We go into the start button, and then this guy should go back and forth, and theoretically the whole thing should unwind. And this is not sitting in properly. Where is it? Now it's sitting in all together. Everything is good. Everything nice and flush. And it should start unwinding. So just play with your mechanism here as you move this guy. We need to get it going. Once again, a lot of wax, so hence the there you go. I feel a little bit of a movement. And we need to do it about 5 times at least to make sure the mechanism is nice and operational. So I'm rotating this gear counterclockwise while moving this little piece on the bottom to help it out. Step number 2, stop start, kind of same thing. We need just to make sure that it unwinds. Put in stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Start. I guess it's this similar thing, just to make sure the guy is up. You need to make sure that the gears are unwinding. One, 2. So eventually it should go by itself instead of you doing it. Once it unlocks, and there we go. Second time is easier. All right, one more, well, much more times. 1, 2. I guess I haven't unwound it too much. And just make sure it's moving, continue. Let's switch the hands a little bit. There we go. The mechanism is unwinding. Lock. 1, 2, 3. Come on. It's working. Now we need to make sure that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need to go faster and faster. We need to make sure that it unwinds completely all the way to the end without this little hesitation. So lock it. You can skip through all that part. I'm just doing it alongside with you, but continue doing that. I mean, you can pause the video, fast forward it, and but you need to make sure this step is essential, because if it's not going to work, there are much more components that are going through and going into the system, so you will get much more heavier and complex. So you need to make sure this mechanism works before you move into the further steps. So And as you can see, with every single time it's moving faster and easier, it doesn't get stuck as much. So I'm gonna continue playing with it, just not to bore you guys, and we'll be back. All right, so I played with this a little bit. So here where I am at. So I wind up about 5-6 times or so, up to 7, and then let it go. So it runs nice and smooth all the way, almost all the way to the end. So once again, it's just playing and making sure that everything is running nice and smooth operation, and unwinds as far as it can without any little delays or stops or anything like that. So that's where we at. Done with page number 13. Move that to the side, the little sub-assembly. And then we start with page number 14, number 1. We're on board number 2. So, and let's see, we need parts number 83, 84, 85, 86, and 87. So there should be all on the bottom here. So let's see, I have 83 is the first one. It's a little to the right of the center line on the bottom. Then we got 85 bottom left. 84 is a little bit to the right and up from 83. 85 we got. 86 is right at the center here. And then 87 bottom left. All right, so 85, let's see, we put 83 down with the face towards the left hand side. 85 is gonna go into the large opening on the right. And then 84 is gonna go on a small opening on the left. Then we put part number 86 with the little ears up, or I guess spikes or whatever. It's kind of like an eye. And then we covered with 87 over these parts. Just make sure it's nice and snug. Step number 2, we need parts number 88, 89. Let's see, 88 is to the right of the center line in the bottom right quadrant, and then 89 would be a bottom, all the way bottom right corner. So we need to put a little wax on the outside of 89 on that little surface on the right, because these gonna be little pegs that something's gonna rotate on them. And then this gonna go into this little slot at the top of 88. So we're gonna kind of put it in from inside and then slide it up to lock it in, just like this. And then that sub-assembly is gonna go into right here. So it's just sitting there temporarily. And next we need 2 parts number 90. Step number 4, one is at the center and the bottom here, and one is on the left, about the same. So with this triangle pointing downwards to the right, we put it from one side, kind of like in that mouth in, and then we put it from the left, same thing, downwards to the right, covered with the on the other side, on the right hand side. So in this mouth should move up and down. Yeah, that's E1, nice and easy movement back and forth. All right, moving down to page 14, step number 1 on the bottom there. We need part number 91, also on board number 2, bottom left, with UGears facing downwards and closer to you. We also need part number 92, which is bottom right. Long piece, so careful pushing it out, make sure you don't break it. And then 2 parts 93. 2 parts 93 is going to be on the small board number 4 in the top right corner there. So they're right next to each other. There is a spare part number 1 of 4, but not actually, I don't know if it's 1 of 4. might be actually the one that you need. Doesn't say the number right next to it. Oh, actually it does. 92 right here, top right corner, so it's a spare. All right, so this guy, we're gonna go kind of sloping downwards. We need to put wax on that long part. Then we need to put the wax on this little tab that is sticking out at the end, and then on inside of that circular opening or a round opening. And then we put it down over these parts here, and then 93 is gonna lock it in on the right hand side. There's two opening all the way on the right, two holes. So slide it in, and there's two holes a little bit to the left of this little nice designs. So as you put it in, now it should move front and back. And if it's straight, it shouldn't fall out, but it does a little bit, so theoretically it's going to be fixed a little bit later. It's not going to go too far. That's our E2. Now we take our subassembly back, and let's see, that E1, the little head, it's going to go, this goes down. This little head's going to go into, let's see, there's two openings. It's gonna go into this little two, I guess, cutouts and a little U-shaped part. So we're gonna put it in. We need to lock it to make sure it doesn't unwind all the time. So we kind of slide it in, and we need to push it forward to make sure it kind of like locks and sits on it. Just like this, so it's gonna move up and down, but is held in its space. Alrighty, moving on to page number 15. Let's see, that large piece doesn't go anywhere. E2 still stays on this side. Now we need part number, step number 2 on page 15. We need part number 95 on board number 2 on a let's see, it's gonna be a little to the left of the center line on the bottom, and then part number 94 is gonna be top left, a little above the middle on the left hand side. So now this is gonna go on right side of our Stegosaurus. This thing, let's see, so the thicker portion is going to go towards inside here onto the locking into the opening on the mouthpiece, and then the thinner one's going to lock onto this, curving upward. So locking it this way, that goes over this little wind up mechanism and into the mouth. Just like this. And then step number 3, we need part number 96, 97. So 96 is the bottom left of board number 2, a little bit to the left of the center line, and then 97 theoretically should have been here. Did I lose it? Did I use it? Let me check where it's at. I think I might have pulled it out before. Did we pull it out before for anything else? Let's see. I'm gonna put this guy in first. Seems like I have a feeling that I pulled it out before. So this is gonna go over this on the left hand side. I waxed it just in case, but we don't really need to. And then part number 97 I feel like I've pulled it out before. Did I throw it out? Gonna need to retract it and check what I did with it. I think I have pulled it out. Okay, so part number 97 was nowhere to be seen and found, so I had to go back in the video and check if it was there at all. Apparently it was not, so it fell out probably during the packing or something like that. I have got myself a replacement. Once again, if you need replacements, it's info@ugears.us email, or you can send or go directly on the manufacturer's website and ugearsmodels.com and request it through them, either through their email or the website. They have both comfortable links. So I got myself a replacement, which does happen. Very rare instances when the part is missing from the boards, but just like in my case, but here it is. All right, so we need to set this guy vertically. Let's see how the best way to do it. And we need to make sure, let's see, so with the longer, because this is the part where there is a shorter, the X kind of offset a little bit. So like where there's a less room, it's going to be, needs to be on the left, larger room on the right. And then we use our part 97, which I just waxed, with that X placed with a smaller room on the right hand side, placed over this little key here. And that's our subassembly E3. So after we're done with that, we have step number 1 on the bottom, page 15. We need the subassembly E2 that we just made. We turn it upside down with this part on the inside, and then we need to make sure that, let's see, one first side, that this, right, so this goes over, make sure, so this side we snap on first, and then we push through this hole to make sure that it sets in second. Not sure. Make sure everything lines up and kind of carefully place it, press it over. Let's see, so this portion is the second one. And this sub-assembly, this little inside, needs to be within that circle that we just installed, right? Okay, I see it. There's a little portion. All right, so this needs to be over this guy. And then let's see, we need this little hook to be over this little hole within this slot. So that's what it was pointing into. So this side first, need to make sure everything fits, and then this side second, we just need to make sure everything is moved out of the way and it all snaps nice and clean. goes all the way in. These little tabs that are sticking out, you need to make sure that those go in nice and smooth all the way, and just like this. So everything is snapped in place. This little circle 97 that we just installed, it's that larger part opening is within the circle. These two tabs are snapped in, and then all the tabs are around, so it's nice and flush. And that's our page 15. Moving on to the page number 16, and that's where like I was adjusting the little tabs to make sure that everything snaps nice and smooth on there. Step number 3, we need part number 98. That's on board number 4. It's on the left hand side. And then there, with the face of the Stegosaurus facing to the right, we need to make sure this little opening is closer to you. And so as you put it over these 4 tabs or 4 openings here, this little opening slot on the top needs to be like as on the right hand side of the dinosaur, or closer side that is closer to you. So that's you snap it all the way in as far as it can go. And then part number 99, which is also on board number 4 on the left hand side, that one's gonna go towards the back. Let's see which one. There's one slot on 2 sides, so that's the only one that you can put it on. So all closer to the back where there is a slot on the sides. And just kind of separates them a little bit and sits them in place the way they're supposed to be. That's step number 4. Moving on to step number 5 on the bottom there. You need parts number 100, 101, and then 2 of each, and then part number 9, 4 of each. 4 of that part. So let's see, 100s are right at the top here on the board. Uh, 101 is right below them. So 101s are the ones that are going towards the front. So I'm going to put them on like a little bit to the right. And I have, let's see, hopefully there is a spare part. Yes, there is a spare part 101. So because I just broke one as I was pushing it out. So not everything is perfect. I'm gonna throw that one out, and there's a spare right here, right bottom right, bottom left. Sorry. So I need to make sure that this time possibly pre-cut, because it does feel like fragile part. Let's see, 101. Better. So that's one is to the right, and then 4 parts number 9, they're a little to the right of the center line, or right at the top there. So there's 8 of them that I see right away. We just need 4 right now for this assembly. And of course, because it's a cylindrical part, we need to make sure that it is nice and waxed all around. And then these parts gonna go locking the parts that we just put on. So the 101 goes up front, snap it in, and then part number 9 right over that little axe that came out of it. So make sure it sits all the way down to the I would wax the tabs too, or that little parts that we're installing, just to make sure that part number 9 is easier to install. So I'm kind of applying pressure on the part and while holding this little part just to make sure it doesn't snap, and then part number 9 over it and slide it all the way to the end. Same thing on the back, but now on the back we have part number 100 that goes in there. 1 and 2. And then part number 9 right over it all the way to the end, as far as it can go. Needs to be flush with that thicker X that is towards the back. And that's going to be our E4 subassembly. Moving on to the page number 17, put that as subassembly aside. Need step number 1 on page number 17 at the top. We need part number 102, board number 4. And 102 is going to be on the bottom, a little bit to the left of the center line. And then we need part number 103. So there at the top right at the center there. Once again, looks like a somewhat fragile part. So careful pushing it out. We do have a kind of weird shape U. So the thinner part's going to be at the top. We need 2 wax inside of there just to make sure it slides in nice and easy. And then we take the 102 with the curve towards the inner curve towards away from you, and then the outside curve towards you. With the thinner portion at the top, we slide it in, so it needs to end up on the left side. We slide it in, kind of move it across, and then rotate it slightly, and then push it out so it locks onto the edge there. And then that's E5. Then for E6 we need part number 104. That's on the right hand side. That's a little bit larger piece. And same thing, we need 103. Wax a little bit on the side. Now here with the thinner portion, we're coming curvature, the inner curve away from you. Now with the thinner part from the left side, so now it ends up on the right. Same thing, we kind of squeeze it through, push it in, and then push it down or towards you or down, or whichever way you're holding, to make sure that little thin piece is on the right. That's our E6. And then step 1 on the bottom on page number 17 on the left, we need part number 105, which is a little above the middle on the right hand side of the center line, and one more 103, which is right above it. Same thing, a little bit of a wax on the inside. Now curvature is away from you, inner curvature, and the thinner portion is going to be on the left. So it's on the top right now. We push it through, slightly rotate it, push it in, and snap it. Make sure you line it up, and then snap it on. That's our E7. Now we take our dino, I'll rotate the head towards the left hand side, part number 106, which is on the top right of board number 4. That's going to go right at the top here with the curvature going towards the back. So we're just going to put it right at that slot at the top. Then E5, that's the first one. That's going to be that first 2 slots. So we kind of push it in and snaps it in. Then E6, so it's going to be crisscross kind of thing. That's going to go into the next slot all the way until it snaps. And then E7 on the last one that is on the back. Kind of wiggle it around, make sure it slides into the openings and goes all the way to the ends. Now we need to make sure that it clicks, push it in, and then through the holes and kind of press it in to make sure that it sits all the way in, which for me was easy, but it really depends on the condition of wood and kind of humidity that you have. So now we need to work it in again and make sure that we do work the parts same as we did before. Work it in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unlock it and make sure it spins, and it spins all the way all around. I'm gonna clean off a little bit of wax on here. Make sure it unwinds completely, and the tails should be moving too. I'm helping a little bit with the key. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You need to make sure that this doesn't happen. So as it unwinds, it needs unwinds as far as it can. Parts are falling out. Need to make sure that they stay in place. This little gear. Do a couple more times just to make sure that we get all 10 in there. All right, in my case, the operation is nice and smooth. Moving into page number 19, step number 1. Let's see, make sure that we're still on record. Step number 1 are parts number 51, 107, 108, and 51. They are all on board number 3. let's see, our board number 2 we are done with. There's no more parts in there. Board number 4 still have some parts, so we're gonna keep it on the side. We're on board number 3. We need parts number 51. They're gonna be on the left hand side. That's a large set there, so you can use your little helping tool to push these out. We need 4 of these guys. Alrighty. Then we need part number 108, top 107, sorry, top right corner. Then parts number 108, they're top left corner. There's also a bunch of them, so we just need 2 for this sub-assembly. We need to make sure that parts number 51 are waxed. All around. Let's see, part number 107. We're going to insert 108 into these little slots. And then part number 51 on both ends just to lock it up. And they need to be flush, so once you insert it, it kind of will set part number 108 in its place once you squeeze it from both ends. And that's our F1. Now we need part number 109 in the top right corner. And same thing, 4 51s and 2 108s. Four 51s. All right, 51s need to be waxed. All around. Oh. And then this doesn't matter which way the hole is at, because it's going to be symmetrical. And just insert part number 81. There's only one way you can insert it to go through completely. And then we lock it up with part number 51 on both ends. And that's our F2. Step number 1, and on the right hand side at the top, we need part number 110. That's on the top right of board number 3. We just need 1 for now. Careful with that one, that looks fragile. And then 2 51s. Also waxed. All around. And then they're gonna go on that little thinner tab from both ends all the way, so the tabs are actually sticking out. Now we need 2 parts number 111. They're top left corner of board number 3. One's gonna go on the top, so we do F1 with the thicker portion, the one that on the top in the middle hole. Actually, never mind, on the bottom hole with the thinner portion. Then part number F2 with the hook towards the F1 into the, hold on one second, am I holding it right? I'm holding it incorrectly. So 111, the top one, the 2 holes that are closer to each other, slot is on the left side, 2 holes that are closer on to each other on the right hand side. So F1 is going to go in the top hole with the thinner portion. F2 is going to go in the one on the right with the little slot towards F1. And then F3 with the little port number 51 in the bottom left hole. And then we need same way with the slot on the left, we're going to put the port number 111 on the bottom, feeding through these little holes. Including part number F3, which I inserted incorrectly originally. For some reason from the top rather than from the bottom. All right, now we got it correct. Almost, once we put the F3 in there. All right, and now we need, in step 2, we need part number 112 to lock it up. 112 is also on board number 3 in the top right corner here. So that's going to go through these two slots that were on the left. And as you push it in, make sure you push it all the way in so it locks nice and clean. And then this step number 3, we need part number 113. And that one is going to be on the top right corner of board number 3 with that circular hole towards the right side. It's going to go into, there's the little tab that is on the inside is going to go through this slot, the smaller slot, and the larger one through the other one. So it's still a moving part. Now we need step number 4, we need part number 114. It's on the right hand side, a little bit above the middle. With that one, we need to wax these little tabs on the fork, on the end of the fork. And then this needs to go through this guy with a slot like this over these two tabs. And then there's a slot, and that fork is going to go through that opening, while the tab is going to go into the hole of part number 113. It's not going to, I mean, it's not tight. It's just like sitting, flopping there. All right, so moving on to the page number 20. Now we need to move this up. Over this guy. Just like this. So over the sub-assembly, and then lock it up with part number 113, which is on the top right corner again. These two tabs plus the, now we have another tab for the other part, just like this. That's our step number 7. And this moves, probably shouldn't go this far. Next, we need part number 115, 2 of them, and 116. Let's see, 115 also on board number 3. They're going to be, both of them are at the top, right at the center, and to the left a little bit. And 116 is going to be a little to the left of the center line, almost like in the middle of the top left quadrant. So carefully push it out. Now these guys will need to go through. There's a top hole, weird shape, so this little tab, we're gonna put 116 through the opening, like rectangular opening. That's the top piece. So the large circle towards the top, the 2 circles on the bottom towards you, and the one that a little extension is to the right hand side. That's the way it goes, and that goes over the top two 51 parts there and there. And then we put the other part in the same direction from the bottom, locking it on that part number 116. So now it's nice and moving mechanism. And we need to assemble 2 of these. So let's go back to that whole page number 19, and same thing. So we do part number 107. That's going to be on the bottom right now. 2 parts number 108. And 4 parts number 51. Same scenario, use your wax number 51 all around. It's pretty cool how we make nice moving mechanism, like robotic motion, I guess, mechanoid motion out of just a bunch of wooden parts. A little bit of wax and patience. All right, same thing. Part number 108 goes through, and then 51 locks it on both ends. Put it aside, that's F1. Part number 109 in the bottom right corner. Four 51s. Two 108s. That's going to be our F2. Just needs to do the same thing. And that's our F2. And then part number 110, that's in the top right corner. And 2 51s. Are waxed. And then 51 is going to go over the thinner tabs. Part number 111, it's in, let's see, bottom left now. Kind of like opposite mirror image. And then same scenario, so this slot is on the left hand side. The 2 closer holes are right next to each other. We're gonna go from, let's do from the top. From the top, then a little slot facing the F1, and then F3, and then similar scenario, we lock this up, and lock it up with part number 112 and step number 2. It's on the bottom right. That goes through the the holes here. And it needs to go all the way through, as far as it can go, almost flush here on the corners. And then part number 113 in step number 3, it's on the right hand side here. And then 113 with the hole going into that opening on the side. So one goes from the bottom, so the hole is towards the top. And then we need to put part number 114 or 126, I guess. And no, still part number 114. Need to find part number 114 is on the right hand side, because 126 looks very similar, but it's not it yet. 114, little tabs, get a little bit of wax, and that goes into the hole. But first we push it through here, put it through the tab there, or hole, slot, and then into the hole. Moving on to the page number 20. Lift it up. Like this, and then we lock it with 113. Step number 8, we need 2 parts 115 on the bottom center and a little to the left. And part number 116 is kind of like mirror image over the middle there, on the left hand side, a little bit to the left of the center line. It's the same thing, to the right, through here, and from the bottom holes. So that longer extension is towards this opening, this hole. And that's our part number F4, number 2. And it needs to move nice and freely, like this. Same thing on this one. All right, now we're on the right hand side of page number 20. I'll clean off the desk a little bit, make sure it's still running. We need part number 117, and then part number 117, there's 2 of them. It's going to be on top left, a little bit above the, no, that's 127. The other one's on the bottom left. So now, let's see. As we face it towards the right, there's 2 little bumps. When they're on the top, and we insert it through one of these sub-assemblies, with that hole facing to the right, the little nails, I guess, facing to the left, or claws, whatever it is. This little 2 bumps going to be towards the top, and that's going to be our FL. So just snap it in, and we're going to put the L on the left. Oops. And then FR, same thing. Make sure this little tab is to the right, and the bumps are towards the bottom now, with the claws towards the left. Snap it in, make sure it still moves, and that's going to be FR. It's going to go on the right hand side. Moving on to the page number 21, we need 118 and 119, 2 of each. Let's see, 118 is the top right corner, and 119 is to the left of it. we do need to wax 119. All around. And put 119 or 118 through the 119 2 times. Step number 1, to the right of it, we need part number 120. That's right to the left of the center line on the top. And similar as before, we need 2 parts number 108. They're bottom left now. And 4 51s. 51s need to be waxed. And then the 108 is going to go through the holes as before. And then part number 51 over it. And 1 on the bottom. That's our G2. Then part number 110 on the bottom right. And part number 51, 2 of them. I'm assuming we're going to do 2 of these sub-assemblies again. But we're going to go in a sequence that book specifies. Waxing 51s, and then same thing on the shorter tabs as in the previous food. All the way, and that's our G3. Step number 1, all the way on the right, we need parts number 122. That's on a little above the middle on the right hand side. And then 121, that's going to be top right. And another 51 from the center left, wax 51. Now we look at this part, that extension is going to go to the left. The hole is on the right hand side, so this little corner is going to be going towards the top. That's our part number G1 is going to go through the top hole. Then part number 121 with the thicker portion away, so thinner portion that's going to get attached, that's going to go through part G1 with the slot to the right hand side, and that's going to go as far as we can, I think. Let's check to make sure that it goes in through completely. Yeah, just need to make sure that it's facing the right direction. One more time, hole is on the right, little tab is on the left. This with the hole. All right, here we go, all the way in, and then 151 to lock it in. All the way, so it's still the tab is still sticking out. And then we need to put in step number 2, we need to put G2 into this opening on the left with the fork towards the top. And then part G3 is going to go on the bottom hole from the top. Now we need part number 123, which is to the left of the center line, a little bit above the middle. And that one's going to go, we're going to flip it, and that's going to go from the top through all three cylinders, just like this. And we're going to lock it through here with part number 124 in step number 3. That's right at the center, I guess a little bit above the middle. That's going to go from this slot over these little dots. Wiggle it a little bit until it gets into the holes and locks itself in. And then we put part 125, which is to the right above the middle, I guess, into the with the hole towards the left in the bottom, that part number G3, kind of similar as we did before. Now we need part number 126 at the top center. That's gonna go, we need to move this in over into that little fork with the top, and then this little tab, which we need to wax. Gonna go in a hole on the bottom, just like this. Moving on to the page number 22, we need to swing it around towards the top, just like this. And then once we do that, lock it up with 125. That's on the right hand side at the middle. On the bottom, over the tabs. All right, and then we put part number 127, top left. That one's gonna go with the little, I guess the claws to the right, or whatever the name of them, nails. This little tab, round tab towards the top. That's gonna go over this little part number 125. Snap it in. Make sure it's somewhat operational, and then we need step number 9. We need parts number 51, G1. We had here 129. 129 is going to be right at on the right hand side at the top, and then two 130s there. Now 130 and 128. 130 is going to go from the top. It's got 130 and then 128 on the bottom. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna take our sub-assembly, flip it around, so this little arm goes to the right. No, we had it correct, towards the top. Let's see, through this hole we have part number 128. We're gonna have the G1's gonna go through 128, with the hole needs to be on the left hand side. Then this gonna go through the slot on this part that is closer to you, and then we put a 51 over it, but we need to put a little bit of a wax. Let me get a new wax piece from my tea light candle. That 51 is going to go over here. And then we need part number 129 is going to go into these two holes. Make sure it sits all the way in. And then 130 is over it. So the same thing, make sure it's in the same orientation with the hole towards the left top. And we forgot to put this part over this hole. Just like this, top, left. Nope. Here we go. Larger hole to the right, little tiny hole towards top left, these two holes diagonally. Took me a while, so it can only go one way. And then in step number 10, we put part number 131, which is top left, with this little opening towards you, and it's going to go over these two tabs. And then we're going to lock it up in step number 11 with part 132, which is right at the center here, a little bit below the middle. And then this little thinner portion or smaller portion needs to go towards the bottom and insert it from you into the part, just like this, locking it up. And then once again, we'll make sure that everything moves nice and smooth. And that's going to be on the left hand side. Moving on to the page number 23. Checking, make sure we're still recording. Now we need same thing. Step number 1, part number G1. We need 2 of those. So 119. Now it's a mirror image over the middle. 119 and 2 119s. 119 needs to be waxed. And we put it over 118. Next step is we need part number 120, bottom left. Part number 108, 2, bottom left, all the way at the bottom corner. And then 51s, 2, 3, 4. 51s need to be waxed. The little hook is going to be to the left. Well, doesn't matter, I guess, at this point yet. So 108s go through. 51 is going to go over 108s on both sides. Symmetrical. And that's our G2. Put it aside. 110 bottom right. 51s too. '51s waxed. Repeating the process. Over smaller tabs. And that's our G3. Step number 1, all the way on the right, we need part number 122. It's a little below the middle on the right hand side. we need 121, which is going to be bottom right. G1 we have, and then 151. One part, number 51. So 51 we're going to wax. With this double split towards the top, slot on the left, we're going to put G1 through the top hole. Then we're going to do 121 with a thinner portion with the slot towards the top through that G1, and then lock it up with part number 51. Step number 2 on the bottom left, we need part number 123, so to the left of the center line, a little below the middle. We need part number G2 is going to go with the little fork towards the part number 121. And to that hole, G3 is going to go in the bottom hole. And then we lock it up with the part number 123 with the 2 dots on there. Need to face the same direction. Dots towards you, and then we need to lock it up with part number 124, which is at the center line, a little below the middle, and then we insert it from the left all the way until it fits into these little slots there. And then 125 on the bottom. It's on the right, a little below the middle, 2 of them. So 125 with the hole towards the top. We insert it from the bottom into these little tabs of G3. Step number 4, we need part number 126, which is right at the center and the bottom there. Go over, need to put a little wax on the tabs. That's gonna go over with this little short fork towards the fork on the top, and the tab's gonna go into these a little hole of part number 125. Then we're gonna move it towards the center, rotating it slightly. We're already on page number 24, and we need another 125, which is a little below the middle on the right hand side. We're gonna lock it on the bottom there, feeding the tab into the hole. Then step number 8, we need part number 127, which is bottom left, a little below the middle. Now with the claws to the left, and with this little guy round tab towards the top, we're gonna insert it over 125 little tabs, snapping it in. Make sure everything is moving nice and smooth. Then in step number 9, we need parts number 128 bottom. That's going to go from the bottom. 130 is going to go from the top. We're going to put it aside. We have G1. We need one more 51. And we need part number 129, which is at the center, little to the right of the center line and the bottom there. So we need 2 wax number 51. Kind of rotate the part that this part is towards you, the hole is away from you. Let's see, G1 is going to need to go through part number 128. This hole is away from you, the larger hole is towards the top. Let's put 129 into the slots. G1 is going to go from the bottom, lining up with the hole here, and put this part over, lock it in with part number 51 all the way in. Then this little 51 we put into the other small hole, and we lock it with part number 130. lock it together. And then we're gonna put part number 131, which is bottom left, over these two tabs with the slot facing outward, and then the thicker portions towards you. And let's see, and then lock it up with part number 132, which is right at the center here. And then as it faces you, the small portion is towards the bottom. Lock it in. And then you need to make sure that the parts move nice and smooth all around. And that's our GR. Moving on to the page number 25. Let's see, we need to take the dinosaur, put the key in, put it into start position, and rotate the parts to make sure these two slots are facing same direction towards the top. Kind of diagonally. This one's towards the top, this one's a little to the left. Let it unwind until see, towards the gear one more time. So this faces towards the top and this goes up. Lock it in, pull it out. Pull the heat out, so you need to make sure that these are two facing up. I think I might be off a tooth. All right, so let's see. Step number 1 on the right hand side, we need part number H1, which is part number 133. They're on board number 4, because we're done with board number 3 altogether. Let's see, 133 bottom right, we need to make 2 of them. The 251s are right at the center there. We need to wax one, part number 51. And we need to put it over part number 133 to make it H1. Right over that little long tab. All the way. And then to make H2, we need part number 134 also bottom right of board number 4. And 251s. Over these tabs. All the way. let's see, I'm a little worried because I need to make sure that this is, I think it's one tooth off. So I'm gonna try to redo this one. And carefully pull everything back out. These guys, let's see if I can, yeah, I can turn it around a little bit, spin it out. Now I can push that off a little bit and spin this one tooth over. I'm just rotating this slightly one tooth over because they're not matching. I think I screwed up. Yep, these need to match in the same location, facing the same direction. There you go, now they do. That was my total screw up, so I just pulled this off a little bit and rotated that gear because it's not attached to anything just yet. Now I'm gonna put this part over again. Reinsert everything back in places. Quick little fix. And we're done. All right, this guy fell off. Okay, so we're done with page number 25. And then H2s, those are the ones on the bottom here. We're gonna insert into the back tab, the one that I just fixed, with the little round off tab towards the front. So this guy's gonna go on the left, right. And same thing on the back, it's gonna go towards the back. All the way. So they're gonna be kind of like, this one's gonna go towards the back a little bit, that one's gonna go towards the front slightly. So they just need to be flip-flopped. So, and then H1's gonna go up front into these slots, same thing. Make sure it's in the same direction, so. All the way in. And then it's the other direction towards the back, the round off portion on the opposite end. Alrighty, now GL left side, the larger one's gonna go on the back. Make sure the claws are towards the front. They're gonna go over these two holes, and then we need to lock it up with part number 135 at the end here. 135 are on the bottom right. So I'm just gonna go over this little tab. And then front left, same thing with the claws towards the front. It's gonna go over these two tabs. And 135 is on smaller. Then we flip it around. I need two more 135s. The large big foot on the back with the claws towards the front. Lock it up with 35. 135. And the same thing, claws towards the front. Make sure that it all sits nice and clean. That's gonna go over the top. Lock it up with 135. Alrighty, moving on to the page number 27. We need our helping tool. That's gonna go in between here, 136, and so we need to install part number 136, bottom left. On board number 4. And the way you insert them, you need to go in between here. Gotta make sure this sits all the way. Make sure you fit over the this little guy, right? So that's X. It goes over the X, so kind of fit it in. Goes over the X, and then you use your helping tool to push it in so it locks in completely. It sits in there. One, then we need to do all 4 of them. So you go in, lock it in, flip it upside down, same thing. You need to do all 4. Slide it in between the 2 parts and push it over the X with your helping tool. Make sure it sits all the way in. And then the last one. All the way. And then step number 4, we finish it off with part number 9. They're right at the center here. 4 of them. And then we wax the parts, and they're gonna go over these tabs into the holes. So wax, and then you just insert it into the tab. And we do it 4 times. One, 2. Three and 4. That's our page 27, step number 4. And move on to the page number 28. Now we just need to work it in and make sure it operates. So there is 2 winding mechanisms, one on the right, one on the left. You need to use the one that is open. 4, 5, 6. And we remove the key. And it should move. So you can help it unwind a little bit by yourself. About 5 times, 5 rotation, then lock it in, wind it up, and do it like 5, 6 times. Make sure it moves. Doesn't get locked up like this. So because we worked in the system earlier, now it's much easier operation. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remove the key. And this guy is walking away. So there's still a little bit hesitation. 5, 6 more times, playing around with it. It should be nice and easy walking through. It's running off the screen. So that completes our it completes our assembly for Stegosaurus by UGears, a mechanical model kit. This is the first dinosaur I'm doing. They have 3 dinosaurs, so Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and T-Rex. I'll be doing each. This is the first one, so I'll be back soon with another one. Pretty cool model. I like it. Mechanoid, so walks pretty cool looking on a shelf, and just by itself is I think it's a wonderful model that anybody should be able to assemble. That I want to say maybe 10 plus, 11 plus or so, especially with the help of an adult. So if you any questions, please feel free to leave the comment below, or send us email at info@ugears.us. Don't forget to like us, subscribe for more videos, and if you need part replacements, you can contact us, info@ugears.us, or the manufacturer at customer service at ugearsmodels.com. You can also go to their website, ugearsmodels.com, and there is a link to place the orders for the spare parts. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for being with me. Once again, don't forget to like and follow. Visit our store, info@ugears, our store, ugears.us, and our sister store, ukidstoys.com. That's UKIDZTOYS.com. And we'll see you guys next time.